ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Chapter 3, Canto 3, Text 1. उद्धव उवाच ततः स आगत्य पुरं स्वपित्रो चिकित्सर्या शम्बलदेवसंयुतः निपात्य तुङ्गाद्रिपुयूथनाथं हतं व्यकर्षद् व्यसुमोच सोर्व्याम्.
Sri Uddhava said, Thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Sri Baldeva, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, and pulling him along the ground with great strength.
Text 2. सान्दीपनेः सकृत्प्रोक्तं ब्रह्मादित्यसविस्तरं तस्मै प्रादात् परं पुत्रं मृतं पञ्चजनोदरात्.
The Lord learned all the Vedas with the different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamaloka.
Text 3. समाहुता भीष्मककन्यया ये श्रियः सवर्णेन बुभूष येषां गान्धर्वभृत्यामिषतां स्वभागम् जर्हे पदं मूर्ध्नि ददत्सुपर्णः.
Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini, the daughter of King Vishmaka, many great princes and kings assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar.
Text 4. ककुतिनो विद्वनसोदमित्वा स्वयंवरेणाग्नचितिमुवाह तद्भग्नमानानपि कृत्यतोज्ञा चक्ने श्रुतः शस्त्रभृतः स्वशस्त्रैः.
By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hand of Princess Nagnijiti in the open competition to select her bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of the princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped with weapons, the Lord killed or wounded all of them, but he himself was not hurt.
Text 5. प्रियं प्रभुर्ग्राम्य इव प्रियाया विदित्सुरार्चद्युतरं यदर्थे वज्राद्रवल्तं सगणोरुषान्धः क्रीडामृगो नूनमयं वधूनाम्.
Just to please his dear wife, the Lord brought back the Parijata tree from heaven, just as an ordinary husband would do. But Indra, the king of heaven, induced by his wives, handpicked as he was, ran after the Lord with full force to fight him.
Text 6. सुतं मृधेखं वपुषाग्रसन्तं दृष्ट्वा सुनाभोन्मथितं दरिद्र्या आमन्त्रितस्तन्नयाय शेषं दत्त्वा ददन्तः पुरमाविवेश.
Narakasura, the son of Dhatri, the earth, tried to grasp the whole sky, and for this he was killed by the Lord in a fight. His mother then prayed to the Lord. This led to the return of the kingdom to the son of Narakasura, and thus the Lord entered the house of the demon.
Text 7. तत्रारुतास्ता नरदेवकन्यः कुजेन् दृष्ट्वा हरिमार्तबन्धुम् उत्थाय सद्यो जगृहुः प्रहर्ष व्रीडानुरागप्रहितावलोकेः.
There in the house of the demon, all the princesses kidnapped by Narakasura at once became alert upon seeing the Lord, the friend of the distressed. They looked upon him with eagerness, joy, and shyness, and offered to be his wives.
Text 8. आसां मुहूर्त एकस्मिन्नागरेषु योषितां सविदं जगृहे पाणिननुरूपहास्वमायया.
All those princesses were lodged in different apartments, and the Lord simultaneously assumed different bodily expansions, exactly matching each and every princess. He accepted their hands in perfect rituals by his internal potency.
Text 9. तास्वपत्यान्यजनयद् आत्मतुल्यानि सर्वतः एकैकस्यां दश दश प्रकृते विभूषया.
Just to expand himself according to his transcendental features, the Lord begot in each and every one of them 10 offspring with exactly his own qualities.
Text 10. कालमागत शाल्वदिननैके रुदन्तः पुरम् अजीघनस्त्वयं दिव्यं स्वपुसां तेज आदिशत्.
Kalayavana, the king of Magadha and Salva, attacked the city of Mathura, but when the city was encircled by the soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally, just to show the power of his own man.
Text 11. शम्बरं द्विदं बाणं मुरं बल्वं लवेव च अन्यांश्च दन्तवक्रादीन् वदित्काश्च घातयत्.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Of kings like Sambara, Divideta, Bana, Mura, Balvala, and many other demons, such as Dantavakra, some he killed himself, and some he caused to be killed by others, Shibaldeva, etc.
Text 12. अथ ते भ्रातृपुत्राणां पक्षयोः पतितान् नृपान् प्रचालभूः कुरुक्षेत्रं येषामापततां बलेः.
Then, O Vidura, the Lord caused all the kings, both the enemies and those on the side of your fighting nephews, to be killed in the battle of the Kurukshetra. All those kings were so great and strong that the earth seemed to shake as they traversed the warfield.
Text 13. सकर्णदुःशासनवसो बलानां कुमन्त्रपाकेन हतश्रियायुषम् सुयोधनं सानुचरं शयानं भग्नोरुमुर्व्यां नन्दन पश्यन्.
Duryodhana was bereaved of his fortune and duration of life because of the intricacy of ill advice given by Karna, Dushasana, and Subala. When he lay on the ground with his followers, his thighs were broken. Although he was powerful, the Lord was not happy to see the scene.
Text 14. कियान् भुवोऽयं शपितोरुभूर्भारो यद्रोणभीष्मार्जुनभीममूलैः अष्टादशाक्षौ हिणिको मदंशै रास्ते बलं दुर्विशहं यदूनाम्.
After the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, the Lord said, the abatement of the earth's great burden, 18 Aksohinis, has now been effected with the help of Drona, Bhishma, Arjuna, and Bhima. But what is this? There is still the great strength of the Yadu dynasty, bone of myself, which may be a more unbearable burden. Hare Krishna, please forgive for any mistake.
Hare Krishna, please forgive me as well. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for the beautiful recitations, Shubhada Mataji and Uma Mataji. Beautiful recitations. I'm just looking on the participants list. I can't seem to see Mamta Mataji, who is facilitating the class tonight. Does anyone know what the situation is with Mamta Mataji, if she's joining a bit late or not? Jyoti Mataji, have you heard anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji. No, but I can try and call her. Let me.
Yes. If you don't mind, Jyoti Mataji, in the
Okay.
meantime, I'll do the Mangala Charan prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, dear devotees, you can all join me for the Mangala Charan prayer. You can join me behind muted mics. Let's all put our hands together. Let's pray very sincerely to their lordships. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, so let's have a look at the verses that we are discussing today. And it's 1 to 4. So Canto 3, Chapter 3, verses 1 to 4. So could I have a volunteer, please, to read text 1? If you can manage the Sanskrit, well and good. Otherwise, just the English translation and the purport, please. Thank you. While waiting for Mamta Mataji to join us. Any volunteers would like to read the
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Hare
glories to
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Namo
Thank you.
Mataji. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for little bit got delayed.
That's okay, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Just can you see me, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय श्री कृष्ण। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्णा। Today, thank you Matajis and Prabhujis and everybody for giving me this opportunity. Please bless me that we can have this discourse properly, and we need the blessings of Sri Vasudev, Sri Guru and Gauranga and Sri Lord Krishna and Radharani. Hare Krishna. So today we are starting a new chapter, Canto 3, the status quo, and chapter 3 is the Lord's pastimes out of Vrindavana. So can anybody quickly read I think whether the purport maybe and the translation? If somebody can read the Sanskrit words also okay, but if you can't also it's fine. Any volunteers, please?
Can I read Sanskrit, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
उद्वाच तथा सागत्य पुरं स्वपित्रोश्चिकित्रस्या सम्बलदेव संयुतः निपाते तुङ्गीरप्यूथनाथं हतं व्यक्षद् व्यसुमो जसोवर्याम्.
Please read the whole purport also, Prabhuji. Translation of purport.
Mataji, I will read the translation.
Okay, Mataji, please.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Jyoti Mataji, can you please scroll? Yeah, thank you. Translation. Shri Uddhav said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Shri Baladev and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. Hare Krishna. Purport as well, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. King Kamsa's death is only briefly described here because such pastimes are vividly and elaborately described in the 10th canto. The Lord proved to be worthy son of his parents even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Baldev, went to Mathura from Vrindavan and killed their maternal uncle who had given so much trouble to their parents, Vasudev and Devaki. Kamsa was a great giant, and Vasudev and Devaki never thought that Krishna and Baladev, would be able to kill such a great and strong enemy. When the two brothers attacked Kamsa on the throne, their parents feared that now Kamsa would finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nanda Maharaj. The parents of the Lord, due to parental affection, felt extreme danger and they almost fainted. Just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Baldev pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So till now we learned how Uddhava is trying to tell Vidura. So he just told them all the Gokula pastimes till Rasalila we came to the last chapter. So now we are talking about Lord Krishna's pastimes in out of Vrindavana. Now he's come out of Vrindavana. Obviously the gopis and all they're crying. So we can just start like from where basically Kamsa, he sends Akrura to get Krishna to Mathura. So Akrura basically goes to Vrindavan. So when he goes to Vrindavan, then he goes and brings Krishna and Balrama. He goes and tells that he's taking Krishna and Balrama to Kamsa, to Mathura. And then what happens? The stories of how Akrura will be, he will go and bathe himself while bringing Krishna and Balrama towards Mathura. Then he bathes himself in the Yamuna river. And then what he sees obviously he sees the lordships in the water, Yamuna water, and Krishna and Balrama in the Yamuna water, and then he comes out and sees them there in the chariot. So he goes back again to see. Then he sees Lord Vishnu in his four arms, and then he offers his prayers over there to the Lord Vishnu, and then he obviously tells how the whole creation was created, how Brahma was created, and how all the elements were created, and he prays to Lord Vishnu, and then he comes out and he offers his prayers to Lord Krishna, because he realizes Lord Krishna is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he takes them to before that, actually, when Akrura comes and tells to Nanda Maharaj that Kamsa has invited them to go to Mathura. So Nanda Maharaj, again with all the cowherds and everybody from all the residents of Vrindavan, they take all gifts and everything, and they go to offer the gifts to Kamsa Maharaj. And then so they will be going up ahead, quite ahead, and then obviously Krishna and Balrama coming behind, and then this Akrura, then this thing of Akrura going and dipping himself in the Yamuna and seeing the lordships, and then obviously then they follow the Nandagam, they meet them there. So the Nanda Maharaj and his whole todi, all his old cowherd people and everything outside Mathura, they will be resting over there. And then from there, what happens then? They will enter into, they will offer all these gifts to Kamsa Maharaj and everything. But meanwhile, what happens over here? Kamsa, Krishna and her Balarama will go into Mathura, and then they will. Let me get that. Yeah, so they will go to, just bear with me 1 minute. So once they go over there into Mathura, then what will happen is they will break this big bow, which is supposed to be before entering. No, before entering, actually, what happens? The washer who will be taking, what's his name? Actually, just bear with me. Yeah, so they will meet this washerman, and so Akrura then after leaves them in Mathura, then he tells Kamsa Maharaj, and then he tells Nanda Maharaj, and then he goes off to his own place. And then what happens now? Krishna and Balarama, they will go into Mathura, and then they find this washerman who will try to obstruct them, and they'll ask him for the clothes, but when he doesn't give, then Krishna will just with his nails, he will just kill him basically. Once he kills him, then they will wear those clothes, and then they will go and they'll find a weaver who will stitch them according to their sizes. And then what happens on the way, then they'll see this garland maker, Sudama, who will obviously recognize them, and he will wash their feet and call him home, and then really put them, decorate them with flower garlands. And then after that, Krishna also sees Trivakra, who's the maidservant of Kamsa, and she takes all this ointment for Kamsa, and Krishna and Balrama will ask for this ointment, and then she gives it to him, and then Krishna really shows mercy on her, and then he steps on her feet and then pulls her chin and straightens her spine. So she was called Trivakra because she had this hunchback, and so hunchback also disappears. And then all the people, then they go into this arena where they will have to break this big bow. So easily Krishna literally snaps the bow into half, and then with this bow, this is like Lord Indra's bow. I mean, it breaks into half. Oh my God! It makes such a big thundering sound that Kamsa literally can hear that, and he literally shudders in fear. And then what both brothers will do, they'll take both ends of the bows, and then they'll kill all the soldiers who come to attack them. And then they again go back to the camp, and then they enjoy that evening meal they have. And then the next day, obviously, Kamsa in the night, he listening to all these stories of the two brothers, he would be really seeing all these ill omens. He could not even sleep. He's full of anxiety that he's waiting for the next day morning match to see. They'll have this big arena. In this arena, he's arranged for this big wrestling match, and then he's inviting all the kings, and then Nanda Maharaj will be sitting on the royal dais over there, and then he sees then he, I mean, obviously all the whole arena is filled with all these people of Mathura, trying to see. Everybody wants to see this big match happening with this big, huge wrestlers, and then with these two young boys. And the ladies, some of them are literally saying, like, this is not a match, proper match. And then Devaki and Vasudeva hears about it, and they feel very, very unhappy that what an unfair match this was. And so over there, before going into the arena, then Krishna comes across this big elephant, which is called Kuvalaya Pida elephant, and basically he kills that elephant. He literally enrages the elephant and kills him with his tusks, and he pulls out the tusks and kills them. And then all the people who see over there, Krishna and Balarama, they think that they are expansions of Narayana. They think this is God's forms. They've come here. And then then what happens, the next phase of the wrestling is after this elephant, then you have these two big wrestlers. One is called Chanura and the other is called Mushtika. So Chanura fights with Krishna and Mushtika with Balarama. Then obviously they are killed. Then afterwards more wrestlers come, like Kuta, Shala, Toshala, and lots of wrestlers come. Ultimately, all of them are killed. And then you should see Kamsa everybody is so joyously happy that everything is happening, but Kamsa is the only person who's so angry. He asks him to stop all this festive music. And then what happens? He will say Vasudeva and Nanda and Ugrasena, all of them to be captured, and they are to be punished, And then Krishna and Balarama, Krishna gets really angry when he hears that how this man is still so proud and still having this demoniac qualities over there. So what he does is he just leaps up onto the dais and he pulls Kamsa by the hair, and then he hurls him down onto the wrestling arena, and then he jumps on his chest, and then he literally kills him. When he kills him, then obviously Krishna, seeing Krishna, Kamsa gets liberation. And then his wives, Asti and Prapti, I think. So they will all, obviously, they will start crying because her husband is dead. And then Kamsa's 8 brothers, before that also, Kamsa actually, he sends his 8 brothers to attack Krishna, and they will also be killed. So all the 8 brothers and Kamsa, all of them, funeral rites have been done by Krishna. And then obviously, then they will go to Devaki and Vasudeva. And to basically, when they go to Vasudeva and Devaki, they will realize, oh my God, these are not our children. They look them like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they will not actually embrace them, because they are. It's difficult to embrace when you know that you're looking at a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then Krishna, basically, he again gets Yogamaya, and then in the scene, and then what happens is then obviously the mind of Devaki and Vasudeva will be changed, and then they will try to remind Vasudeva and Devaki that they have been so unfortunate that they could not get they could not be with the parents, and they feel very, very sad that being their children, they could not actually serve their parents. And so over here he says, like, parents, you are always indebted to your parents. You can never fulfill what they have ever done. You can never pay the debt, and so always indebted. And what Krishna says over there is, any capable son, who fails to support their parents, will be forced to eat his own flesh. So that is how bad it is. So they really ask for forgiveness, and then after that, then Devaki and Vasudeva, both of them will embrace their sons. And then what happens? Krishna will offer the kingdom to Ugrasena, and then all the Yadavas, and gives back the kingdom, and everything is hunky-dory over there. So this is the thing of how Krishna kills Kamsa. So should we go to the next chapter? Next verse, please. Is anybody just quickly will be able to read for me? No volunteers, so should I read?
Can I read it, Mataji?
Please, Mataji, please. Thank you.
The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, Sandipani Mani, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Jumaloka. Can I read the purport
Yes, please.
as well?
Please go
Okay.
ahead.
No one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher, nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Jumalaya. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Jumaloka and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father as a reward for the instruction received. The Lord, constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas, and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from the an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward. He himself adopted the system. The Lord offered his services to his teacher, Shandipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son who had died be brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not therefore and ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service and never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you. So then after Krishna and Balrama, then what happens? Then they'll say goodbye to the father, Nanda Maharaj. And then what happens? They go to, then what happens? Vasudeva and with all the sages, then they take both the sons, Ram, Krishna and Balarama, to Garga Muni and for the Brahmacharya Vrat. And over there, after that, then they go to, just like any other, this is what the Krishna wanted to show how the culture basically, Krishna doesn't have to do anything, but he's showing how to follow the culture of all. We have this Varnashrama. So Brahmacharya, he takes the vows and then he goes to study the Vedas, and he goes to Sandipa Muni, where he goes to Avantipura. And Avantipura. So over here, Lord Krishna is showing how everybody should have a spiritual master, and then from there you learn all the scriptures. So over there, the Lord Krishna and Balrama, both of them will learn the Vedas and all the other lots of other scriptures and Upanishads, and all of that is done in 64 days, and they learn different 64 arts, in 64 days. Now, as a Guru Dakshina, then obviously Krishna will ask the Guru Sandipa Muni to what sort of a Dakshina would the Guru like, Only the Sandeep Muni will say, my son was killed in that ocean of Prabhasha. Can you get back, my son? And so Krishna will obviously, he will say, he will, to fulfill his spiritual master's wish, he will go to the Prabhasha ocean and ask for the deity. Ask for the deity. He will, who will say that the sun is not in this over here. It is with a demon called Panchajana. So Panchajana is the demon who's taken away this boy, and that Panchajana demon lives very deep in this ocean. So Krishna enters into that ocean, and he goes and kills Panchajana. And then when he kills his Panchajana, from there, obviously he takes out that shell from the Panchajana body, from the body of the demon, but he cannot find the sun. And then when he cannot find the sun, then what he does is he blows this big conch shell, and then Yamaraja comes up there forward, and then he asks, Yamaraj, where is the sun? And then Yamaraja gives the sun back to the Lord. And then the Lord takes back the sun and gives it to his Gurudev, Sandeepa Muni. And he asks him for another vow. And Sandeep Muni says, I do not want anything. I've got my son. That is enough for me. And then afterwards, obviously, then they go back again to. Then what happens in meanwhile? Then you have these Ashti and Prapti, the wives of Kabsa. Then they go to the father. The father is Jarasandha, and Jarasandha tell them about the story of how Krishna and Balrama, how they came and they killed Kamsa and his brothers. And Jarasandha literally vows to kill Krishna. And then he starts attacking Mathura. how many times he attacked God knows. Like, then Krishna sees Jarasandha coming and attacking Mathura, so he literally kills all the enemies. So you should see Krishna as in the form of a warrior over here, Krishna and Balrama. So then what happens? They arrest Jarasandha, and when they arrest Jarasandha, then I think Krishna releases Jarasandha, then he goes off to Magadha, and then from there, then what happens? He gives the whole of Mathura to Ugrasena, as we said before. Yeah, okay. So the next one, please. The next verse, should we go? Will we see the next verse, Mataji? Okay, before that, so what happened before I could say that? So before we come to the third verse. So obviously what happens, you can know that how Jarasandha attacks Mathura for 17 times. He attacks, but Krishna defeats him all the time. But on the 18th time, what happens? Then he actually comes with Kalayavana. Kalayavana is a demon sent by Narada Muni to fight the Yadavas, because Yadavas are so strong, they're killing all the people. So how many times Jarasandha came and but they were defeated. So Kalayavana comes now. So Kalayavana is he basically, now Krishna has to kill Kalayavana. So how he kills him is literally they run, they literally he goes out of Mathura, and then so what he does is, when Kalayavana comes, then they see that Kalayavana is a very, very strong person, and all the enemies, this time all the Mathura city will be annihilated. So what they do is, Krishna actually builds this Dwarka inside the water and keeps all the Yadavas safe in that. And then he comes out, and then he goes to fight Kalayavana. So what he does is, he they will face Kalayavana, who will follow them. They will run. I'm sure all of you know the story, but they will run. So Krishna leads them to a cave where where Kalayavana follows him, and then obviously he disappears, and then he sees this person who's sleeping in the cave, and then this Kalayavana will see, where is Krishna? I can't find him. He must be sleeping. And so he kicks this guy who's sleeping over here, and that guy who they kick, he literally wakes up and he becomes really so angry, and from his obviously face and eyes and everything, fire comes out, and then he destroys this Kalayavana. So the Kalayavana, the big strong person who was supposed to kill all the Yadavas, that enemy is destroyed. The person who was sleeping with none other than Muchukunda. Now, Muchukunda is one of the son of Mandata. So he was actually sent to protect the demigods. So he was like an commander of the armies, and he was protecting the demigods against demons. So then when Kartikeya became the commander of the enemy to protect the demigods, then Muchukunda retires, and then he's been given a vow that he'll be asked for a vow, and then God gives him the vow that he'll ask that he wanted to sleep, because he had been fighting all his lifetime, so he wants to sleep, and that's how he gets covered by sleep. But then Krishna, when he sees Krishna after this Muchukunda, after he kills this Kalayavana, then obviously he'll be liberated, and he will ask that he wants to be kept at Krishna's lotus feet. And then Krishna again returns back to Mathura again. So again, what happens when Krishna returns to Mathura? Again, Jarasandha comes back again, again another army, because he never gives up, Jarasandha. He keeps on. Then he comes towards, so Krishna and Balaram, what they do, they literally run towards this mountain called Pravarshana mountain. And over there, what happens? Then they literally escape from there, but Jarasandha thinks they're stuck in the mountain. So what he does, he literally lights a fire around the mountain and lights up the whole mountain, and thinks that both the brothers are dead. So that ends over there. So let's go for the next one, please. Now. So the third verse is now, this is very nice, interesting one. about Rukmani. Yeah. Can we have another?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
please.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can
Please
I
read.
can I read? Yeah, I'll just go to do translation and purport.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmani, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great princes and kings assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar. Purport. Princess Rukmani, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, was actually as attractive as fortune itself, because she was as valuable as gold, both in color and in value. Since the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the property of the Supreme Lord, Rukmani was actually meant for Lord Krishna, but Shishupal was selected as her bridegroom by Rukmani's elder brother. Although King Bhishmaka wanted his daughter to be married to Krishna, Rukmani invited Krishna to take her away from the clutches of Shishupal. So when the bridegroom Shishupal came, there with his party, with a desire to marry Rukmani, Krishna all of a sudden swept her from the scene, stepping over the heads of all the princes there, just as Garuda carried away nectar from the hands of the demons. This incident will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is a lovely story. So what happens after when Krishna goes back again? So what happens at this point now? What happens? Maharaja Parikshit is actually asking to Shukadeva Goswami about to narrate the marriage of Lord Sri Krishna with Rukmini. So Rukmini is basically the younger daughter of Bhishmaka. He's the king of Vidarbha. So Vidarbha is about, from Dwarka, is about nearly an hour or so distance. And then what Rukmini hears about Krishna's beauty and strength, and he hears all the qualities now. It's already going into the years. Some stories are happening in Mathura and Dwarka. Then obviously she hears about Krishna, and she's in her mind, she's made up in her mind that I will marry nobody else but this person only, and he's a perfect husband for her. But Krishna also actually wanted to marry her. So although Rukmini's relatives were approving of Rukmini's marriage, Rukmini's brother, he was not at all interested in Krishna. They said because he was envious of Krishna and he did not want Rukmini to marry Krishna. Even though father and all were very much, but they can't because Rukmini did not basically want his sister to get married, and he wanted Shishupala instead, So when Rukmini heard all this, she said, my God, I will be literally, nobody can go against Rukmini, so they'll marry me off to this guy, Shishupala. So she basically takes the matters into her own hand. So what she does, she basically sends a trustworthy Brahmana. And what does she do? She writes a beautiful letter. So the beautiful letter is, and she gives that letter to this Brahmana to say, to go to Dwarka and give it to Lord Krishna. So then Brahmana goes and reaches Dwarka, and then when he goes over there, Krishna literally, he offers all respect to the Brahmana. He washes his feet, feeds him, and looks after him nicely. And then that is the time he asks him, why did he come? What was the reason? And then the Brahmana will give the letter. He'll give the letter. And what does the letter say? It is so beautiful. Actually, we should do if I have time. But yeah, we could. From Canto 10, chapter 52, from 37 to 43 is a Rukmini's prayers, like all the verses. But it's very short, this thing. I'm just trying to read from here. It says, like Rukmini Devi wrote, ever since I have heard about you, my Lord, I've become completely attracted to you. Without fail, please come before my marriage to Shishupala and take me away. In accordance with family custom, on the day before my marriage, I will visit the temple of goddess Ambika. That would be the best opportunity for you to appear and easily kidnap me. If you do not show me this favor, I will give up my life by fasting and observing severe vows. Then perhaps in my life, I will be able to obtain it. So you can see how, with what dedication and so she just, because she's seen Krishna and she's given her life to Krishna, that this is the person I'm going to marry and nobody else. Not only in this life, but in the next life also. And she's not even, she's saying if it doesn't happen, she's not blaming anybody else. She's saying, but okay, maybe in the next life, if I'm not worthy of you in this life, I will again meditate and then get you in your next life, in my next life. So then a Brahmana then gives this letter and then he literally goes away. Now Krishna, now it is in Krishna's court now. So now he has to take the plunge. So what he does, Krishna, after Rukmini's messenger goes away, then actually, no, so before actually going, then Lord will tell him that actually he is also attracted to Rukmini. And I know that Rukmi, the brother, is opposing my marriage to her. So therefore, he will tell the Brahmana that I must kidnap her. After crushing all these low-class kings, just as one might generate fire from firewood by friction. So basically, he vows, Now, what happens now? So what he starts, immediately sets out on to Vidarbha. He uses, so Lord Krishna's chariot's name is called Daruka. So he gets Daruka ready and at once he immediately sets out for Vidarbha. And apparently it took one night for Krishna to travel to reach from Dwarka to Vidarbha. Then already over there, the Swayamvara is being arranged. So all the for the marriage ceremony, all the people are coming in, all the guests are coming in. So over here, Shishupala's father, and then lots of other kings, everybody will come. Jarasandha come, Shalva come, Dantavakra come, all of them come to witness the occasion. And plus Jarasandha and all also, they are trying to, they know that if Krishna is coming, then they want to fight him so that he doesn't, they were thinking like, if Krishna comes, they will take away Rukmini actually, basically, and go. But obviously, at that time, what happens? I think Balarama also goes and he gets all his armies so that they can give a good fight, And then on the night before wedding, then what happens? Rukmini still, now Brahmana has not come. So he's still on his way and Rukmini is thinking like, oh my God, what has happened? What do I do now? If the Brahmana has not come or Krishna has not come. So before the thing. So before Krishna will arrive. So in anxiety, then she'll be thinking about, oh, what an unfortunate person I am. But then when I think she'll have some omen, her left eye will be twitching and she'll think, okay, this is a good omen, something like that. And then the Brahmana appears and then he tells what Krishna had said, that he will come and kidnap her. So over here, what happens over here is then Rukmini will go to the temple and over there, Krishna will literally pick up Rukmini and take away in the chariot in front of all the other warriors. And basically they say like it is, then Jarasandha and all will feel very much humiliated. They're saying like, how can, they will try to say Krishna is so petty and there are lions over there in front of them. And how can they take away? They pray. They get really offended that Krishna could just pick up Rukmini and go. And then Jarasandha will be trying to console Shishupala. But to say that, listen, I have actually gone to fight Krishna 17 times, but don't give up hope. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, maybe your day was not good and you were not having the best time of the day. So maybe your day will come, when you can get back Rukmini. So he will say that, and the 18th time I won and all, he'll be trying to say, they're just giving him a little bit of confidence, saying that it's okay if he's taken, Rukmini is gone, it's okay. Just trying to console Shishupala. But Rukmi gets, he feels really offended, very insulted. So literally he goes alone after Krishna. And then obviously Krishna really gets really very angry, and then what he does is he takes out his sword and he basically cuts off the hair of Rukmi. They in the movies now they showed as half, but they cut off in a very odd place that nobody will. I mean, a person will think is a mad person or something. It's very humiliating. And so then Balarama sees that what Krishna was doing, and he tried to pacify him. He say like, insulting a person is equal to killing, so let him free. So they set him free. And then obviously Krishna and Rukmini come. They come to Dwarka, and in Dwarka they'll be full of jubilation and celebrations, and they'll celebrate the marriage. So that's how Rukmini's wedding is done. And absolutely, those verses we have is lovely. I don't know whether if you have time you all can read, but I think you should read 10th canto 52, chapter 37 to 43. That is a nice prayers for, I thought, for Rukmini, like asking for Krishna to come and help her. These are some things we should relish, because they are such lovely pastimes we have, and we should really try to look into them. So it goes on like this: Asadvidam Tvaya Krishna Kritam Asmadjugupsitam Vapanam Shmashrukeshanam Vairupyam Suhrido Vadhaha. So I think I would really encourage everybody to read from 37 to 43 when you'll have time. And if you finish up the verse, maybe the last verse, then we can go for this one. Maybe we should just read one by one later. So let's read the last verse, and then, or maybe we could just read this quickly and then go to the last verse. So 37, if somebody can, or maybe I could read it for you all, what it means. So Lord Balrama said, "My dear Krishna, you have acted impromptly." Oh no, this is wrong. Sorry, I'm going to the wrong verse. Sorry. My apologies. I went to the 10th, the 52 chapter. Yeah, Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna. And the translation. Okay. 37. Yeah. So Sri Rukmini, I'll read it in English actually. So Sri Rukmini said in a letter as read by the Brahmana, "O beauty of the worlds, having heard of your qualities, which enter the ears of those who hear and remove the bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. O Mukunda, you're equal only to yourself in lineage, character, beauty, knowledge, youthfulness, wealth, and influence. O lion among men, you delight the minds of all mankind. What aristocratic, sober-minded, and marriageable girl of a good family would not choose you as her husband when the proper time has come? Therefore, my dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, let Shishupala never touch the hero's portion like a jackal stealing the property of a lion. If I have sufficiently worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead by pious works, sacrifices, charity, rituals, and vows, and also by worshipping the demigods, Brahmanas, and Gurus, then may Gadagraja come and take my hand, and not Damaghosha's son or anyone else. O unconquerable one, tomorrow, when my marriage ceremony is about to begin, you should arrive unseen in Vidarbha and surround yourself with the leaders of your army. Then crush the forces of Chaitya and Magadhendra and marry me in the Rakshasa style, winning me with your valor. since I will be staying within the inner chambers of the palace. You may wonder, how can I carry you away without killing some of your relatives? But I shall tell you a way. On the day before the marriage, there is a grand procession to honor the royal family's deity. And in this procession, the new bride goes outside the city to visit goddess Girija. O lotus-eyed one, great souls like the Lord Shiva hanker to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy the ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will have become weak from the severe penances I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. So this was the message given to Lord Krishna. So it was quite lovely. So let's read the last one, please. Last verse of this chapter, then we'll finish our dedicated verse for today. This is just only a couple of lines for this verse. Anybody reading? Okay, I'll just read it, no worries. By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hands of Princess Nagnijiti in the open competition to select a bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of Princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped with weapon, the Lord killed or wounded all of them, but he himself was not hurt. So again, in this, it is just straightforward. It says again, this is another way how Krishna, how he gets all these wives, how he has to go through the different swayamvaras or the different procedures kept by. So Nagnajit is the daughter of Nagnajiti is the daughter of Nagnajit, and he holds a swayamvara saying that whoever can actually defeat the 7 bulls, 7 bulls, that means he wants a very powerful man for his daughter. So anyone who's powerful, who can kill all these 7, who can all defeat the 7 bulls, and I will give my daughter's hand to them. So lots of kings will come, and obviously they can't. And then Krishna actually obviously goes and defeats all these bulls and ties the noose around their neck, and he's able to capture them. In that way, then Krishna, actually before seeing that also, when he sees Krishna, Nagnajit, actually he says, oh my God, he's so beautiful. I think we have to, he would be very happy to give his daughter to Lord Krishna. But then because he's made a vow, so Krishna, he says, I'm so sorry, but you have to defeat the bulls, then only I can give my daughter. So Krishna actually proves that he's a rightful husband, and that's how she's one of the Ashtabharyas, one of the 8 wives of Krishna, and that's how he gets Nagnajit. I think we'll end it over here. Hopefully, if you have any, please forgive me for all my mistakes or offenses. If anybody wants to add anything more, please. I'm sure all of you know more and more stories, so kindly please add in more. The rasa will be more nicer, Anybody? I don't know. Shailesh Prabhu, Mataji. Okay, then if nobody has anything, should we then end the class? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you. Thank you for your lovely class.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So any questions or anything? Any comments? Anything? If not, then should we say the closing prayers?
Yes, Mataji, I think so. Nobody
Okay,
saying.
Mataji, let's do it.
Vanchaka
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय अनंत
जय
कोटि वैष्णव
Mataji, thank you
जय
for
All
beautiful
glories to Srila
class.
Prabhupada दामोदर मंथ की जय हरे
जय हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much.